If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe. Leaving a like would help too, shows people that this video is good. And also, if you didn't know, I have a Discord where I discuss all my upcoming videos before YouTube even gets to see them. Link is in the description down below. Enjoy the video. Guys, I need to start forcing you guys to give me disclaimers before you recommend things for me to read. Like, I went into this thinking, maybe it's gonna be something chill, you know? Most of the time you guys recommend me things, it's pretty chill, pretty lighthearted romance, normal stuff like that, but, how are we going from straight Muay Thai to headshots, then impaling? What is this? On a more serious note, Love Bullet has been on my things to read for a while, and it's also something that you guys have recommended to me a lot. But more specifically, a few of you guys have asked for my 2 cents on the whole Love Bullet situation, and if I'm being honest, I think that it's honestly crazy. This series is a miracle, nothing less than a miracle. For a manga, a Yuri manga no less, the fact that this community came together to not only allow this series to continue, but also elevate this series high enough to the point where it is ranked top 10 in Anime Japan's manga ranking for anime adaptations is crazy. Not even overreacting. Seeing the amount of support that overseas people provided, the support that Japanese people themselves also provided, this is crazy. Y'all are forcing publishers to turn an eye to this series. If that doesn't highlight the power that the Yuri community has, then I don't know what will, honestly. So once again, shout out to INEE. In the afterwards / bonus chapters, INEE has made it clear that they have been grinding. They stuck with this series through thick and thin, and that is nothing short of love. Congratulations to INEE. Love Bullet has received a crazy amount of support, and I can only imagine how that could feel, especially after the things that this series has had to go through these last few months. I honestly can't wait to see where Love Bullet goes. I can't wait. Now that you all have heard my opinions, it's time that we start exploring Love Bullet. Also, can we do something about my mic? My noise gate doesn't work. Don't I have like a... What? We're at like 2,000 subscribers. Don't I have like a manager? Where's my manager at? Where's that guy who was behind me last video? Can we do something about this? Already. Before we can actually discuss the story of Love Bullet, I think it's more than important to tear away some of its layers and take a look at the world itself. For starters, you have Cupids. Now, Cupids are people who have unfortunately passed away before getting to experience love, that have been given a second chance at life by the goddess of love herself. These people turned Cupids are assigned with the task of mediating the love lives of humans. Essentially, Cupids are the catalyst for any love that happens in the world. If the love that humans experience is a flame, the Cupids are responsible for lighting that flame. The Cupids have a very important job. But the question also arises, why do Cupids have to do this job? Why do Cupids have to do this job? These are just people who unfortunately died and were forced into this position. Why do it? With every job that a Cupid completes, they accumulate something called karma. And if enough of this karma is collected, then said Cupid can return back to their life. That's right, they can go back to life almost as if nothing ever even happened. That is the position that our main character, Koharu, finds herself in. After a tragic and quite frankly suspicious incident, where in the middle of her best friend's love confession, Stray Rebel falls and crushes her, taking her life almost immediately. Koharu has no choice but to work her way up as a Cupid. The world of Cupids is unlike anything to Koharu. They aren't running around using bows and arrows and whatever Cupids are believed to do. No, they're running around using grenades, grenade launchers, SMGs, Uzis, all these things that make you wonder if these are actually Cupids or not. Koharu, who is known to be quite reserved, is thrown into this fantasy world, where she has no choice but to learn how and what exactly it means to be a Cupid. Koharu has to deal with the pain of dictating someone's love life and all the things that can accompany that, while also simultaneously coming to terms with the fact that she's dead, and her death has impacted her friends and the people around her. Love Bullet is really good at capturing a variety of feelings. One scene can be humorous, then in the next, it contrasts with pure tragedy. But through all of that, Koharu has no choice but to embrace her new life. While I was reading Love Bullet, one thing crossed my mind constantly, and this only happens with a very select few series. All I could think of while I was reading was the potential that this series holds. Almost every chapter I was thinking, this could evolve into this, or this could shape up to be this, or we could see this. There are so many intriguing directions that this series can take, and I can see why you guys have been recommending it. Love Bullet is a completely new take on the Yuri genre. The only thing I can think of that comes even close in comparison is Lycor's Recoil, and even then, there is an unfathomable amount of differences between this series and that. As of now, Love Bullet only has 12 chapters, and I've kind of already given you the meat and potatoes of this series, so I kind of want to focus on some of the more general things about this manga, plot and characters aside. I guess that was always kind of the direction I wanted to take with this video, because I do have some pretty strong feelings about this manga. The first thing I want to absolutely talk about is the art. The art in this manga, oh my gosh, especially the imagery. INEE has this really unique gift where they can create these beautiful panels that directly contrast one another. Like here, where we see Koharu's past life immediately interjected by her new Cupid life. That is one of a kind. Or here, where we see Koharu splattered on the ground in her human form, only for it to be immediately followed by her awakened Cupid form. If you can't tell, I really am a sucker for imagery in these manga. It's such a beautiful thing that I feel like has a tendency to get overlooked. So when I do see things like this, I really do like to draw attention to it. These small scenes add so much more to this manga. While we're on the topic of art, I also want to take a look at some of the infights between Cupids that we see. INEE makes the very unique decision to not let the fights solely revolve around weapons. On numerous occasions, we see our characters toss those guns aside and just go straight hands. This is something that, believe it or not, a lot of series prefer not to do. But making this decision, I feel, elevates the fights in this manga so much. No fights feel the same. One example of this is Chiyo and Kana's fights. One fight between them, it's based around guns, with very different styles, I might add, even with their guns. Chiyo is a lot more aggressive, and her style of gunslinging reflects that, while Kana is more on the passive side, preferring to run, hide back, be more strategic. But when we switch to fist fights, we see Kana instead become more aggressive, even donning the ever so popular Muay Thai fighting style, completely just shifting the dynamics within the fight. The fights in this manga are very unique, and if it stays that way, then later on, this series can have some insane fights, unlike anything the Yuri community has seen before. When all these factors are piled up, it's kinda crazy to me how a series this special could have possibly not made it to today. Imagine if this gem of a series wasn't a thing, and was instead buried under the endless other Yuri media. Love Bullet has a lot of potential, and in about 4 to 5 months, I will come back and review the updates regarding this manga. I want to create a meaningful video on this series, but as it stands with only 12 chapters, I can't really do that. But at the same time, I could not resist not talking about this series for any longer. This is a much overdue video. But guys, let me know what stood out to you in Love Bullet and where you think Love Bullet is heading. I love to see what theories or moments stuck with you guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.